Heimdall, often referred to as the Watchman of the Gods, or the Whitest of the Gods, has a unique and crucial role in Norse mythology. Heimdall guards the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge that connects Asgard, home of the gods, and Midgard, home of the humans, against any potential threats. He has extraordinary senses, especially his hearing. He can hear the grass grow on the earth and the wool grow on sheep. Heimdall's main role as the guardian of Bifrost means he is always on the lookout for potential threats to Asgard. This connects him to the events leading up to Ragnarok, as he watches out for suspicious activity. Heimdall is in possession of the Gjallarhorn, a horn that, when sounded, announces the beginning of Ragnarok. The horn alerts the gods and assembles them for the final battle. There is a lot of tension between Loki and Heimdall. In mythology, while reasons for their hatred towards each other vary and can be ambiguous, they are destined to fight each other in the final confrontation during Ragnarok. Some theories for why they have their differences, so to speak, with each other come from the fact that they are both polar opposites. Loki is mischievous, causing a lot of chaos, and Heimdall is ordered and vigilant. As chaos begins to stir, Heimdall sees this and blows the Gjallarhorn. This is not only an alarm, but also a call to the gods, assembling them for the final battle on the plains of Vigrid. In the chaos of the battle during Ragnarok, Heimdall and Loki find each other. Their mutual hatred for each other boils over into a duel. As foretold in different prophecies, they end up killing each other, fulfilling their fate in Ragnarok. Heimdall's involvement in the events of Ragnarok is symbolic of his role as protector and guardian. He is both the herald, so to speak, of the apocalypse and active participant. His duel with Loki symbolizes the broader conflict of order and chaos that underlies the events of Ragnarok. In Norse mythology, Skoll is a wolf who pursues the sun, often identified as the sun goddess Sol, across the sky, with the intent to eventually devour her. He is often paired with his brother, Hati, who chases the moon, Mani. Their roles in cosmology are symbolic of cosmic forces that threaten to unbalance the natural order. Throughout the majority of Norse myths, Skoll and Hati's pursuit of the sun and moon symbolizes the soon approaching chaos and ultimate dissolution of the world. The persistent chase is a constant reminder of the threats to establish order and the fate that awaits. One of the precursors of Ragnarok is the devouring of the sun, which plunges the world into darkness and is one of several cataclysmic events that cause the beginning of Ragnarok. The disappearance of the sun contributes to the sense of doom and chaos that defines the apocalypse. While Skoll's act of consuming the sun is a key factor, the ancient texts like the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda do not go into much detail about his actions during the Battle of Ragnarok itself. His most well-known contribution is devouring the sun. Devouring the sun helps represent the undoing of the world. This, along with chaos, helps set the stage for the battles between gods, giants, and other mythological creatures during Ragnarok itself. Hati, like his brother Skoll, plays a significant but specific role in the events leading up to Ragnarok. While Skoll pursues the sun, Hati chases the moon, often called Mani. Their roles in Norse mythology are to eventually consume the sun and moon, which help cause final cataclysm. As with Skoll, Hati's constant chase of the moon serves as an omen for the impending doom and the inevitable end of the world. This constant chase is symbolic of the transitory nature of existence and the cyclic understanding of time in Norse cosmology. Parallel to Skoll's actions, one of the early signs of the beginning of Ragnarok is Hati finally consuming the moon. This act of devouring Mani, or the moon, contributes to the upheaval of the natural order of things, which further plunges the world into chaos. With the sun and moon both devoured, the world is plunged into darkness, setting a grim atmosphere for the events of Ragnarok. Just like his brother Skoll, the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda don't go into great detail about Hati's specific actions in the battle during Ragnarok after devouring the moon. His main contribution, as mentioned, is devouring the moon, which is a significant catalyst in the apocalyptic events of Ragnarok. Devouring the sun and moon emphasize the inevitable approach of Ragnarok and the cyclical nature of destruction and rebirth in Norse mythology, and symbolizes a breaking down of established order to pave the way for a new beginning post-Ragnarok. Surtur, which means black, is another significant figure in the events of Ragnarok. He's a Jotun, or giant, who's associated with fire and hails from Muspelheim, the realm of fire in Norse mythology. Surtur's role, especially when it comes to Ragnarok, is of catastrophic force of destruction. While Surtur's most notable actions take place during the events of Ragnarok itself, his existence as a being of fiery chaos always put him in a position of being threatening in the background of Norse mythology. As Ragnarok begins, Surtur leads the fiery giants of Muspelheim against the gods in the final battle. His troops are part of the larger assembly of chaos, one of which is Loki's ship of the dead, which all converge on the plains of Vigrid. Freyr, one of the Vanir gods associated with fertility and prosperity, confronts Surtur. This duel is significant because Freyr had previously given away his magical sword of love, leaving him at a great disadvantage. Without the sword, Freyr is eventually killed by Surtur. This underlines the catastrophic losses the gods suffer during Ragnarok. After his battle with Freyr, Surtur turns his cataclysmic powers upon the world itself. He casts fire across the realms, engulfing everything in flames. This results in the destruction of most of the world, which then leads to the eventual rebirth from the waters. Surtur burning the worlds is a key action to the cycle of destruction and renewal central to Norse eschatology. Surtur's involvement in the events of Ragnarok symbolizes the inevitable and all-consuming nature of destruction. By setting the world on fire, he makes sure the old world full of conflict and tragedy is destroyed, which makes way for a new world to come into existence. In this sense, though Surtur's role is that of a destroyer, he also causes the renewal and rebirth in the Norse understanding of time and existence. Jormungandr, also known as the Midgard serpent or the world serpent, is yet another central figure in Norse mythology and plays a key role in the events of Ragnarok, the end of the world. Jormungandr is one of 3 children of Loki and Angua, a giantess. Jormungandr's 2 other siblings are Fenrir the wolf and Hel, the ruler of the realm of the dead. Because of prophecies that were foretold about Loki's 3 children bringing chaos, they were sent away or imprisoned. Jormungandr was thrown into the sea that surrounds Midgard, the world of humans, by Odin, king of the Asur gods. Jormungandr grew so large that he could encircle the entire world, hence why he's known as the world serpent or Midgard serpent. Throughout Norse mythology, Jormungandr and Thor, the god of thunder, have many confrontations, and their deep-rooted hatred for each other begins to grow. As previously mentioned earlier in part 1 of this video series, one of the most famous myths involving Thor and Jormungandr is Thor going on a fishing trip with the giant Hymir, and also pulling the world serpent out of the sea. As the 2 face one another, Hymir cuts the fishing line. The serpent escapes back into the sea, but it is prophesied that Thor and Jormungandr will face each other again during Ragnarok. One of the key moments in Ragnarok is the final battle between Thor and Jormungandr. As Ragnarok begins, the serpent comes out of the sea, flooding the earth with waves and poison. Thor and Jormungandr fight in a final battle, and Thor manages to kill the serpent with his hammer, Mjolnir. However, after killing Jormungandr, Thor is poisoned by the serpent's venom. He manages to take 9 steps before dying from its poison. In a broader sense, Jormungandr is a symbol of chaos that lies on the edge of the world, waiting for the right moment to challenge the order of things. The eventual battle between Thor and Jormungandr represents the war between order and chaos, with neither side achieving a long-lasting victory. The sinking of the world into the sea is one of the many catastrophic events that happen during Ragnarok, and is a symbol of destruction and purification before the world is reborn. Here is a more detailed look at the events leading up to the sinking. Before Ragnarok begins, there are several omens, 3 winter seasons without a summer in between in a row, moral breakdown in society, and conflicts breaking out more frequently. Many gods, including Odin, Thor, Freyr, and Loki, and many other mythical creatures like the frost giants and the Midgard serpent, engage in a deadly final battle, and many of them end up dying. Following the battle, natural disasters start happening all around. The sun and the moon are devoured, and stars disappear, and the world is plunged into darkness. Earthquakes shake the world, mountains crumble, and trees are uprooted. All these chaotic events lead to the sinking of the world into the sea. The Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, lets go of its tail from its mouth, thrashes onto land, which causes tsunamis and floods. Finally, the world sinks into the sea, symbolizing complete destruction.